Everybody trying to be content creators and trying to go viral. You want to go viral?
Okay, you want to go viral. Let's go viral then.
Say let.
Let go.
Let's embrace it. Let's love it. Let's enjoy it. And let's give them the experience of their life. That's Roswell for you, baby. Come together. And guys, this is Speaking Out Loud. I appreciate you guys joining us. Don't forget to share and dance like you just don't care. It's early in the morning. Let's have a day. And like I said, be a friend. Tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Shout out PMS.
Good morning again. Welcome to Speaking Out Loud. I am your host, Rene Ruiz, and along with me is the man with the buys, the man with the tries, the one with the broad chest, the one, the only, and John Borba.
What's going
Morning,
on?
Johnny. Good morning, bro. How was there was a game last night. It was a national championship game. A lot of Raider fans were excited because they felt like they were watching their future quarterback, the future of the organization. You saw Mark Davis out there in the end zone, just in love as ever. If love was ever love, it was last night seeing Mark Davis in the end zone, watching Fernando Mendoza get ready. But the boys get a massive win, JB, 27-21 over the Miami Hurricanes to complete an undefeated season. A game that was that was some good ball last night. You know, the game starts off pretty slow. There's only 3 points in the first quarter, and then Indiana scores again in the second quarter, going into half 10-0, and then that's when the real football started. Miami decided to finally show up and make it a game. They scored in the third, making it a game at 10-7. Then Indiana scores, making it 17-10. And then that fourth quarter was one to remember. Both teams kind of battling out up there into the end, where Fernando Mendoza gets the game-winning touchdown. And then slowly but surely, Carson Beck throws the interception to lose the game in what seems to be, or what was, a thriller, JB. What a good game, man. What'd you get out of that game last night? That was fun. That was some good football. That was a good way to kind of close the weekend off of what we saw in the divisional round, right?
Yeah, my thing is like college football is the landscape of it now is completely different. Like Indiana won with an average age of almost 23 years old. You look at those starters in Indiana, some of them are 6 years, 5 years, 4 years, but the experience, and I think that's going to be the new thing when it comes to building a program now, is getting all these dudes that have experience, that can play but have experience. So it's a little bit, it makes for, I don't know, if you can play, it makes for a little bit more exciting football. Like, we're literally watching like the G League of football, not the G League. I think this is higher, but
It's definitely semi-pro at this point, right?
yeah, like the competition is definitely, it's more leveled out. So we're gonna see other programs. We might see completely two new teams that we had no idea about next year. It could be something like that. But I think it makes the game a little bit more exciting. And I don't know, is that really your first round pick right there? Is that the first overall pick? That's my question.
Dude, what a dog. What are we talking about? You look at that and you question whether or not he's a first round pick. What a dog. Look at this play. Steps up in the pocket.
What was he?
On 4th and 5.
167 yards, no passing touchdowns, one rushing touchdown.
Yeah, but
Not very
remind
athletic.
you that
Not very
Miami,
athletic.
I believe Tim's going to be joining us here at 7 a.m. to
Do the
react
Raiders
to
really
what
want
his
this
thoughts
guy?
were on the college football game. But what?
Do the Raiders really want this guy? Is he really that much of a game changer? I don't think so.
JB, but you can't
No.
watch that play and tell me that's not.
Oh, great.
I feel like I was just
No.
watching a replay of Josh Allen right there.
JJ
4th
McCarthy
and
does
5
the
with
same
the game
thing.
on the line.
JJ McCarthy does the same thing.
We don't
He's
have to
done
do
the
that.
same
Why are we choosing demon time again, JB? What are we doing?
Is he really like what is he going to do for the Raiders? The Raiders need a lot of help. The Raiders,
but he's
he's
definitely a stepping stone.
this guy is like a ceiling of like maybe a Jared Goff, but I'd say like a Kirk Cousins, and then a
Can I ask
floor.
you Can I ask you where Jared Goff has been?
Not to the Super Bowl.
Jared Goff's never been to a
I mean,
Super
he
Bowl.
has been to one Super Bowl, but he hasn't won a Super Bowl. But that was with the
But
Rams
he's been
team.
there.
I don't know.
mean,
I
you tell
don't
me
know.
if you tell me if JJ McCarthy got you to a Super Bowl, you're not excited about it.
I mean, I would be, but I just don't know. I don't know how much of a game changer is for a team like the Raiders.
I
That's
don't
just
know that. I don't know.
what's his
I don't
ceiling?
know
Like
that
how
they're
high is this
looking for
guy's
someone
potential?
who the Raiders do definitely have a lot to work on, but this, I think, to me, this is a stepping stone. Now it's a matter of what coach you bring in. I mean, we saw it in New York, just the dumpster fire of an organization. They bring in Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo, and it's kind of now they got new Phil going into next season. I mean, why can't that be the Las Vegas Raiders with almost identical teams? I mean, look at what they got. They got the same thing, right? They got Cam Scatterbo, compared it to what? Bijan Robinson. I mean, not Bijan, my bad. Ashton Genty. Who would you rather take, Genty
Genty,
or Cam Scatterbo?
Genty.
Okay, and then you got Brock Bowers, and then who do they got in New York? Malik Neighbors.
Well, they got Theo
I feel
Johnson.
like I feel like that's offsetting. So then you
That's
bring
a
in
tight end
Fernando
compared
Mendoza.
to a wide receiver, though. I just don't know. For
Yeah, but
me, okay, this is
just
my
as efficient. Just as efficient.
this is all I'm saying is 10 years ago, Fernando Mendoza is probably a second or third round pick. It's just there's so much weight on the quarterbacks nowadays coming out of college that like this guy's the overall pick, number one overall pick, and it's like who else is coming out? But like yeah, I think his for this draft, I guess he's going to be the number one overall pick. But like for other drafts, he could have easily been a second or third rounder. I think for his skill set, for what he does, like he's accurate, he plays safe, he's got a good ball placement, things like that. But I just don't know how much of a game changer he really, really is. I guess we just got to see. But yeah,
JB, I show you this play, and immediately that's where your brain went. Blows my mind. This is Josh Allen-esque right here. We talk 4th and 5
look at
with
how
the game on the
slow.
line. Coach puts the ball in your hands, and you go get it. Like, if anything, you gotta tip your hat off to this, brother. What are we talking? I get we're looking at the stat line. He
Mhm.
only had what, 140 something. That was a hell of a game.
I
You got to
don't
remember
know.
that Miami had 10 5-star recruits opposed to what Indiana had, a bunch of misfits.
Yeah, that's what Oregon did too.
Like,
But
and,
Oregon had
and
the same
what
thing.
happened to them? What did he do to them?
But I
He had
just
like
don't
4
know.
touchdowns on them.
Watch.
Cooked them. We're
I
talking
don't know.
about this dude throws dimes, and
That
the
dude's
one thing
slow.
that's
Like look how
consistent.
watch him run. Watch him run.
That's fine. What do you want? You want a
Like
4-2 quarterback?
that's
How does
he's not
that
going to be
look?
doing that in the
Look at
NFL.
Jaden Daniels.
You think he's going to do that in the NFL?
Yeah,
No.
but for you to just, I think he's going to do that a couple times. I think whenever he's slicing and dicing and there's a hole in the middle, he's going to be able to hit it just like he did here. I mean, JB, this is beautiful. Watch this. What are we talking about, bro? Boom, steps up, sees nothing. I'm assuming that
That's a
they've
called run.
they've already probably fallen back in zone or man or whatever they were in there. Hole breaks up in the middle, sees it, hits it. Come on, look at that. Ooh, got him.
That was an awful juke. That's just not good athleticism. He's not very athletic. He's not going to be
Yeah, but
doing
what
that
are
in
we
the
talking?
NFL.
He's a pocket passer though, JB.
He's not going to be doing that in the NFL though. That was just a good
You're on
call, a good play call. They didn't expect it. I don't care,
Keith
dude.
in the comments here. How
Don't
much of a game
care.
changer? He just
Like
won a natty.
this football is not the
With the
NFL.
most losses in.
This college football is not the NFL. Like I don't care if he didn't do nothing to really change the game. Like he played a clean game, threw 167 yards passing.
And what have we been asking a lot of these guys in the NFL to do? Have clean games. And that's one thing that this guy can give you. He's consistent, bro. That's if you want anything at your organization. Could you imagine? There's teams that
But
are
he was
dying for that. I
running
mean,
RPOs
that
half the and throwing back.
your
He's throwing
team,
like streaks, like
JB,
back shoulder throws to 6'4",
JB.
6'5" receivers, and then throwing RPOs. What else did he do?
That's just managing the game, bro. You got to understand what you have. There's teams that die for that. Look at your team, brother. Your
No.
team would die for some consistency at quarterback,
Mm.
not turning the ball over, being able to just deliver an out route, like or a comeback, or a little hook route. Like you would die for that. How many? What did you tell me? How many games y'all would have won if y'all would have had decent QB play?
For me, I
Just
just don't think
consistent,
the
okay
ceiling is
quarterback
very
play.
high. I don't think the
If
ceiling's very
Fernando
high.
Mendoza would have been on that Minnesota Vikings team, we'd be talking about you guys in the dance right now.
No, he wouldn't.
But JJ McCarthy can't do anything outside of hand the ball off. But yeah, he was still given the first. I mean, he was drafted in the first round. What are we talking about? JJ McCarthy coming out of the draft, all he could do was hand the ball off. That's wild, JB.
Well, JJ McCarthy wasn't a first round draft pick 10 years ago. It's just it is what it is. And Fernando Mendoza, I don't know. I don't think he's
I'm just saying. I
first
think
overall
consistent. I
pick.
think if any,
He's not the talent level of a first overall pick. That's all I'm saying.
neither was Tom Brady, right? I mean, Tom Brady was drafted so late, but that's kind of what they're seeing right now. That's what. Look, that's when I see Fernando Mendoza, I'm thinking of a pure pocket passer, just beautiful. That every now and then, if you need him to get outside the pocket, if you need him to go off for a scramble, he can do it. He's capable of it. Now, is he going to give you 50 to 80 yards on the ground? Probably not. But the guy can obviously throw the rock. I mean, bro got smacked up yesterday. He was getting beat up by that defense and still got up. Still got up, kept moving. And then on 4th and 5, when the coach asked for it, calls basically it looks like a design play for him to run and gets it done, JB. Not only gets it done, but goes out and scores and takes the lead that ultimately ends up setting up the game for them. I mean, look at that, bro. Like taking that hit, diving for the end zone, wanting it all. How does that not juice you up, bro? If you're a Las Vegas Raiders fan, I mean, I think you're excited. I don't know that it's going to change overnight, but you definitely feel comfortable about what the future looks like with this team.
I don't know. For me, I'd trade back, get a bunch of other picks with somebody that feels comfortable moving up and getting him. Because
Okay,
I
so we're
think
not
you could get
sold.
something else.
You hate new college ball.
No, I just really think you trade back, you get a bunch more picks. Maybe you get like a Malik Willis. I don't know.
But they did that whole song and dance already, you know? They did that song and dance with with Geno Smith, the little experiment there at quarterback. For
This is
me,
Malik Willis. Malik
you take
Willis
the
looks
obvious
ready
here.
to go. Like looks like he's developed into a legit quarterback. He's had experience. He's had time playing backup.
Jesus, fool. JV hates
I
winning.
just don't see.
JV,
There's nothing that jumps out to you watching Fernando Mendoza. There's really nothing that jumps out. He helped change the program around. I understand that. So that's a good thing
that's
to take
nothing.
in. Yeah, that's another thing that you could take in as a first overall pick. But
Brother.
oh my gosh,
JV,
compared to like other
I
he's
hate
not a generational
JV,
talent.
JV.
No, he doesn't have great arm strength. Like, what are you talking about? I don't understand what's so hard
You
to
said
say that.
yesterday you
Why is
go.
that
Yesterday
so
you
hard to
go.
say?
I hate the
Are
way
we
you
on a
put
high
me.
that he won? Why is it so hard to say that? That he's just not like a generational talent. Like, why is everybody like riding him so hard?
I mean, he just won a national championship. I get it. We're a little hot and high. I get
A
it.
little high.
But come on,
But
we
what
didn't have
jumps
to
out at
come
the
on.
screen? What
Huh?
jumps out at you when you watch him play? I don't
I
know.
just think he's a dog. He's a winner. That's hard to find. He's got a nice
Dude also
spiral.
had
He's got a solid
6'5" receivers.
deep throw. He seems like he's
6'5"
established.
receivers he's throwing to.
Say that again.
He had 6'5" receivers that he's throwing to all game. The running game has been great for him all year. Like he's had everything going
Okay,
his way.
you go build that. You go build that for him in Vegas. What are we talking about? He's got Brock Bowers. That's a big tight end. You got Ashton
That's
Dempsey,
tight
which
end.
Indiana. What did they do very well yesterday? They ran the ball, and then Fernando Mendoza is going to be able to deliver that 4 or 5 throws. I mean, he might be the ultimate game manager, but that's what it feels like you need in the NFL right now. Look at what the Seahawks are right now.
Look at what the game managers are. Look
Fernando?
at what the game
You don't
managers
think
doing. Okay, that's one exception.
look how lost you are on Sam Darnold, and
No,
you can't have the
listen.
same
Look
mindset
at
for.
all these other game
Imagine,
managers. Look at all these other game managers. Where are they? Where are they?
yeah, one's in the NFC Championship.
Who?
Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold doesn't do
AFC.
anything better than Fernando Mendoza right now.
Yeah, but Sam Darnold's got a complete team. I'm talking about what other
Okay,
game
so that's
managers.
what you build around him. You're gonna have him on a rookie contract. You're acting like
That's one
people are
quarterback.
asking him to
That is
go.
one quarterback. Where's the other game managers at? They're all at home because they all
I
had
mean, Bo
awful.
Nix,
They
Bo
all
Nix,
had awful
Bo
playoff
Nix.
experiences.
You call Bo Nix one, and Bo Nix would be in an AFC Championship game
They
right
needed
now.
5 turnovers. They needed a blown ball by the refs. They needed an overtime field goal to beat the Bills. And then the other guys, C.J. Stroud, Trevor Lawrence, who else? Who's it? Dang it, Justin Herbert. All these other guys, they're all sitting home because they can't make it to the big game. So you got Drake May, who's an MVP runner up, and you got Stafford. The only game manager I would say, like game manager. I don't
Sam
know.
Darnold
You can't call Bo Nix a game manager
anymore.
because he scrambles around. He's doing all that. Like, he's not a game manager type quarterback. Just to sit there in the pocket and deliver the ball and be safe. He doesn't play like that. So I think the only game manager left right now is Sam Darnold. So,
And where's he at? Where's he at? Good morning, Mama.
but he's got the
Where's he at?
most complete team around him in the league.
Okay, so you don't think that's what they're thinking?
You got to do that. There's only so many teams that ever do that. That doesn't just fall off of trees.
Yeah, but when you
gotta
have
be way more
on a rookie
consistent than that.
contract and you have probably I think the Raiders are like top 3 in cap space next year. They got plenty of money to go spend. Like
They got to
what
spend it right. That doesn't mean you're gonna hit.
if anything, you do what the Cowboys did and you trade Max Crosby and you load up on picks there, and then you start building around Fernando Mendoza.
So you
Why wouldn't you? Look how hard it is to find a damn quarterback right now.
So you get rid of one of the best pass rushers that everybody has now. That's like making deep runs into the playoffs. You get rid of your best pass rusher, one of the best.
But you're not.
They're
They're not making a deep run right now. That's what you're not getting. They're not making a deep run either. And Crosby's probably got like a 2-3 year window. And this Raiders team is probably not going to get going for like, I'm going to say probably next year. They probably mail it in again, right? So get rid of Crosby, allow him to go somewhere and win, and then you start stacking. And then next year in the draft, then that's when you really unload, and then you'll be able to come back in the 2027 season, and you'll be ahead of schedule.
All right.
I don't see how you watch last night's game and go, yeah, that guy don't look like he's an NFL quarterback.
I didn't say that. When did I say that? I'm just saying I don't think he's
First
the
round
talent
pick.
of a
First round pick.
overall
Okay,
pick.
first round pick.
He's not a first overall pick.
But he's not going to be there in the second round. So if you're the Raiders, you got to take him.
Well, obviously he's not going to be there. But I'm saying he's, from what we've seen as quarterbacks who go first overall, like you think he's better? You think he's going to be better than Cam Ward?
I mean, did Cam Ward do anything to impress us this year, really? Honestly?
Exactly.
Shout out to Cam Ward. They just hired.
We're going to be saying the same thing about Fernando Mendoza. You're going to be saying this next year when I say.
Yeah, I don't know, though, because I don't know if they force him to play right away.
Okay. Yes, he's going to play. Who else is going to start? He's going to play.
I mean, you might throw out Geno Smith out there for a little bit. You're mailing it in. You're mailing it in, JB.
You're not putting Geno.
This is a pick. This is a pick for the future. The NFL has to slow things down in the progression of these young quarterbacks.
No.
I mean, look at Cam. I mean, hopefully Cam Ward learned from this past year.
Cam Ward
you
had
hope
a bad team around him, and he had Tony Pollard. He had Tajay Spears in the backfield. He had dang it, dude. Who's that? Who's the quarterback? I mean, who's the wide receiver for the Titans? Dude that came from the Falcon, Calvin Ridley. He had Calvin Ridley. He had a first round wide receiver in Alec Amenora. He had all those guys, dude. What did they do? Win 3 games? Like, I don't see. Like, you can't. If you're saying Cam Ward, like, if you're not impressed by Cam Ward's first year, you're definitely not going to be impressed by Fernando Mendoza's first year.
Yeah, but I didn't expect Cam Ward to go and change the Titans. I expected exactly what we saw. A guy just getting a bunch of reps. They're just trying to mold him in. And shout out to the Titans who hired their new coach yesterday.
I don't even like the hire. I don't like the hire. Awful hire. Well,
let me finish it. Let me finish announcing it. Let me finish announcing it so that way they know who they got. Yo, you are on one, my guy. Whoa. Hold on. Slide back into the frame there.
Arguing every clip, every single take.
Oh my goodness! Hold on, let me announce it. The,
Every
the Nashville Titans. I was gonna say Nashville Titans. That's how twisted you got me right now. The Tennessee Titans make their head coach decision yesterday and hire Robert Saleh, defensive coordinator from the San Francisco 49ers, will now be the Tennessee Titans' new head coach and will lead that defense and Cam Ward to hopefully progression. Why don't we like this hire, JB? Already shaking your head.
I don't like it. Like, what's the point of bringing in, like, okay, Solid was on the Jets, right? You let him go, and then you see
Yeah.
how awful you are. Like, he was slowly turning that thing around, and then you let him go. They couldn't get the quarterback position right. What do you do? Like, so you bring in a defensive guy for Cam Ward and to build that offense. Like, you got to hit on your offensive coordinator. You got to hit on a quarterback coach. Now you got to do all this other stuff. Unless instead, if you would have brought a young guy in, somebody under like the McVay tree, like we've been saying from LA, one of those dudes, bring them in. I don't think you bring a defense. Like, how long is his leash? How long do you think he has? Because Cam Ward's got to develop. It's going to take 2-3 years. By the third year, we'll know what we have. And then is he going to be fired by year 3? Like, how long is his leash? That's my thing. For a defensive coordinator to come in, what, you're going to build the defensive side of the ball when you just drafted a first overall quarterback? Like, well, I just
No, yeah,
really
yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm
understand
with
it.
you there.
So my for that, like, I don't know how long is his leash for him to develop Cam Ward, and you got to bring out now. You got to bring the right guys in around you to help build Cam Ward. So that's my thing. Like, how long is this dude's leash for a defensive coordinator? Like, if things don't work out, if they win 4 or 5 games again this year, which is very likely, maybe 6 games, like, how long is his leash that he's going to have? You know, can he develop Cam Ward? That's my thing. A defensive guy going into a situation where you just drafted a quarterback, and you're trying to build on that success, build around him, do all this stuff. Robert Saleh is a great coach, but I don't know if this is the right fit. I don't know.
For
I don't know.
Cam Ward.
That's my question with that one.
Which is valid. I do like that question. I like that question. But to me, I think that maybe they're just looking for a change, right? Because Callahan was an offensive mind, supposedly, and he wasn't able to. I mean,
And
he
he's
got bounced
similar.
right away.
He's kind of similar to like a Mike Vrabel hire in a sense. You know, the defensive guy,
It's
tough, that sort of thing. And they kind of kicked him out because he really didn't establish a quarterback while he was there. He had Tannehill and did great things with Tannehill. So and Titans still let Vrabel go. Like, Vrabel should be your coach for years. Like, he's one of the best coaches. So I think that was a mistake letting Vrabel go. So I don't know. I don't know how long Salah's leash is. I wish he would have gone to a better situation, a team that would actually keep him around for more than 2 or 3 years. I think if
Yeah.
Salah goes to an established team with a quarterback that's got some experience and then just had a down year, something, that we've been looking at in these other positions who have an established quarterback. I think his head coaching career could last years. With the Titans, that's risky. So then he might be back on the market in 3 years. Ooh, let's go get him. Let's go get our
Yeah,
DC.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But he's just going to jump back into a lateral. He's going to go back into a defensive coordinator position, unless maybe he gets another head coaching stint. But yeah, I just don't know. I don't know how long his leash is, and then I don't know about that signing when you have a young quarterback that you're trying to build around and develop. You got to develop this quarterback too, still, because I mean, every quarterback out of college you got to develop.
I think as most Titans fans are probably waiting for is to see who he brings with him. I think that was my initial thought right away too. Is I'm thinking like, all right, you got a young quarterback now. Who are you going to bring with you? That's the first thing that I thought of. So I'm in line with you there. I do like the hire for them. It is similar to like a Vrabel. Look what Vrabel was able to do when he brought in offensive coordinator McDaniels with them. And it seems like McDaniels is probably going to stay there at the offensive coordinator position. So if Robert Saleh can find someone that he can at least mold, I mean, everybody keeps hyping up that dude from the Rams, that young kid, and he's getting head coaching positions. But if he doesn't get a head coaching job, and that'd be a nice little landing spot. You got a young, promising quarterback. Why not him
Yeah,
come over and call plays? So they
you
can
know,
just put this thing on its head. If you are the Titans, you could. They got the money. They got the salary space. They basically mailed in this previous year to be able to set up what they might have this following year. So I'm excited. If I'm a Titans fan, I'm excited. I'm juiced up. You got a guy with
Yeah.
with the solid mentality that's able to really do a lot with nothing. I mean, look at that San Francisco's defense. They're pretty beat up, and they were still. I mean, they did get torched there in that game, but eventually it's going to give, right? Something's got to give with all those injuries. Eventually, it's going to catch up, and it did. It caught up to them, but that's not no fault of Robert Saleh. So if I'm a Titans fan, I'm juiced. I'm pumped. I'm excited. You got a hell of a head coach. The one that concerns me is actually this hire here. The Miami Dolphins hired defensive coordinator from the Green Bay Packers, Jeff Hafley,
Yep.
as their new head coach. This one's the one that concerns me. Maybe it's just because it's not the popular, like this name is crazy, everybody knows it. So
Yeah.
maybe that's where I'm judging it from. But the mindset that you had for Robert Saleh is what I had for Hafley. I
Really?
don't know that he's going to go over and be able to help out their biggest issue, which it feels like it's really the quarterback position.
Yeah. No, yes, I agree. But this is a perfect spot for Malik Willis to possibly go to. Perfect spot. And let me
Which
explain
that's what
why.
the rumors are.
Yeah, let me at least explain why I think this hire it's not the most popular one, but it makes
Uh-huh.
to me it makes sense. So you look at their former head coach Mike McDaniel, right? The little nerdy guy, the
Okay.
little smart offensive guy. What was my where's Jeff Hafley coming from? Where's he coming from? Like
Green Bay.
The team, Green Bay.
Like, what's his resume?
No,
Okay,
no, no.
yeah,
I'm just
Green
saying
Bay.
where's he
Sorry.
coming from? Green Bay, right? Mike McDaniel and that Miami Dolphins team, what were they bad at doing? What were they awful? What were they known for when it came to like why they played so bad half the time when that in that playoff appearance a couple years ago in the snow and all that?
Do tell.
They were awful in cold weather. They look soft. They look unprepared. So what do? You get rid of Mike McDaniel, who's kind of like the offensive nerdy, kind of the finesse guy. You bring in a hard-headed dude that can change the culture of this team to not only be able to perform better, but when it comes to December football, when you got to go to Buffalo, when you got to go to New England, when you got to go to Pittsburgh, when you got to go to all these teams when it's cold, and you instill that culture that we're not going to get ran over, we're not going to be soft, we're not going to lay down when it gets cold. Because I think that was one of the biggest things, one of the biggest criticisms that Mike McDaniel had on that team. That first year when they made it to the playoffs, like against the Chiefs or whatever, they look soft. And so I think you bring
Yeah,
in a
that's a
new
that's a good take.
attitude, kind of like a hard-headed nosed coach. And what did he do on that defense? That's another thing. He brought in Quay Walker. You bring in Xavier McKinney. You drafted those guys in Green Bay who are solid players. Like he's got a good resume in Green Bay as drafting these guys that can change the defense around. And if you build a tough-nosed, hard-headed defense, that can travel everywhere. A defense can
Yeah.
travel anywhere. We saw that with Houston, traveled anywhere. It's just the offense let them down. So I think if you build on the defense and then just get a couple more pieces, find your quarterback offensively, which I think Malik Willis has a really good chance to go to Miami. I wouldn't turn that down if I'm Malik Willis because you still got
Which
Devon Achane.
honestly,
You got Achane, you got Waddle. I mean, man.
JB, now after hearing you say all this,
Hey, man.
honestly, I don't even know
Hey,
if you got to go get. I don't even
come
know if you
on.
need to go get Malik Willis because
Hey,
they're setting their foundation here. They're going to be a hard nosed team, like you said,
I think
led
Malik
by the
Willis is
defense,
great.
which isn't going to require so much from Tua. Because from Mike McDaniel's offense, it seemed like it required Tua to be like a Patrick Mahomes s type quarterback, right? To be this game changer when ultimately he could be a great game manager. So I like your perspective here. If I'm a Miami Dolphins fan, I'm pretty juiced even after what I saw
I think it
yesterday in
makes
my own
sense.
city.
I think this one makes sense to me. That hire makes sense because what he did in Green Bay, what that attitude is. Okay, let me build a defense. Let me build a defense that can travel everywhere in the cold, rain, snow. Not only in Miami, we don't want to be known as a team that it's just a warm weather team. Let's change the culture from within. So I think Halfley, he makes sense in that standpoint. He's not the popular name. He's not the big name, coach that we've all been talking about. But I think it makes sense. So I kind of like it. Now it just depends. I'd really like to see him hit on Malik Willis, and I think they could really build something over there. So we'll see.
Miami Dolphins got yourself a dog, according to Borba. The culture is changing already just in one day. All of a sudden, we got some hard-nosed dogs out there in Miami. I like it, baby.
And I
I like
think,
it. I didn't think about that at all. I was just like, I don't understand this. Irish
yeah,
only 1 year
me
coach over
neither.
there in Green Bay, but he did
Yeah,
change Boston College. He kind of put them on the map as a head coach. Goes and is a DC in Green Bay
yeah,
and was able to basically do what Robert Saleh did whenever his best player goes down and was still able to adjust and give their team a chance. Give
yeah.
their team a chance. They had a chance to win in Chicago, and unfortunately, the offense
I
came up just
I
a bit
think
short. So,
real
great
quick before we
perspective.
get into our next topic, I think the team that's going to hurt most from all these head coaching moves right now is the 49ers, because the 49ers, Robert Saleh turned that defense into a top 5, top 10 defense, before all the injuries and stuff like that, of course. But even with the injuries, they were still performing at a really high level. Now, I think when Saleh was on the Jets, that defense turned into like a bottom half defense. Like they kind of fell off. So it's going to be huge for Kyle Shanahan and those guys to bring in somebody defensively who's going to keep that defense afloat. So that was a big drop off. That's a big thing to happen, especially when you got to go up against the Rams and the Seahawks and in that entire NFC. It seems like you're playing some good offensive teams. So it's going to be interesting to see how they keep that defense going and who they bring in for that.
Yeah, damn, I like that, JB. You got me. I'm juiced, man. Shout out to the Miami fans. Good luck to you and 49er fans. It might be a tough road this next year, but hopefully them boys can get healthy. And if they get healthy, who knows? Who knows? And let's see. Keep your eyes open to see who they bring in at the DC position. In the NFL right now, a lot of this coaching hires. There's so many vacancy spots. Right, there was 10 to start off. Now I believe there's only 7, but a lot of these hires, it's like, damn, I wonder who they're going to bring with them. But there's so many openings that it's like the offensive coordinators that are available. It's like, why wouldn't they just take a head coaching job? Like they're almost going to have to eat their egos and go on and make a super team with another coach. So shout out to these guys who are making their hires. And so far, it feels like some of these teams are heading in the right direction. But ladies and gentlemen, let's pivot over back to the college football world. We have our SOL's college football insider or beat writer, yet better yet, the former UNM alum, Mr. Tim Foley. Tim. He, she. I guess it's a she. 'Cause it'd be
Say that again.
a boy, right?
You cut out during all the claps.
Oh, my bad, Tim. Yesterday, Cal got out of the ranch. Were we able to find that heifer?
We did. She did not have the calf yet, but I'm gonna have to go check here in the next 30-45 minutes, see if that happened. But we did find her, got her back home.
Have you been a part of that process?
I did. Yeah, I've been branding. We castrated a few cows a couple days ago, so I'm a full on rancher now.
That a baby. Come on, let's go. That's what's up, Tim. Tim, last night's game, massive game. Indiana gets a big win to complete the undefeated season, 27-21 over the Miami Hurricanes. What was your takeaways from that game last night?
My takeaways, it was a phenomenal football game. I think it was a lot closer than a lot of people expected. I kind of talked about that a little bit last week about how it was going to be limited possessions. The run game was going to have to dominate in order for Miami. In order for Miami to win, Mark Fletcher was going to have the game of his life. Fortunately, he did have the game of his life, but it wasn't enough. It was a great football game to watch. I think the biggest takeaway is how dominant Ruben Bain and that defensive line for Miami truly is. I mean, they really truly have 2 first-round draft picks that were there anchoring that defense, and that is the reason that kept them in the football game. Ultimately, Carson Beck threw that pick at the end of the game. It wasn't just a bad throw. I mean, he was. They were moving around the defense a little bit pre-snap. It looked like he was going to have a single high. He was going to have one-on-one on the end whenever he put the ball up there. But when you tell at the snap of the ball that safety kind of retreated to the hash and to the numbers. So he ended up tricking Carson Beck and was able to have that corner be able to trail a little bit, knowing he had help over the top to be able to go get that interception and ultimately seal the historic victory for Indiana.
Yeah, hey, Tim, this play here, I'm not sure if you can see it, but it was a game-sealing play from Fernando Mendoza. Scrambles up the middle, breaks the tackle, hits with a very athletic juke to the right to get into the end zone. Tell us about Fernando Mendoza. This guy's an absolute dog, huh?
Absolutely. I mean, that is the sole reason why this man won the Heisman. I mean, there was there was a couple people that are kind of pushing back, saying maybe it should have been somebody else, but that is the reason why he won the Heisman Trophy right there. First of all, the play call. I mean, on a 4th and 4 for a coach to not only go for it to be able to go up two possession ball game, but also a quarterback draw. On People forget that Mendoza is 6'4", 200 something pounds. He's a big guy and he can move. He's athletic. And as you can see here, the second he tucked the ball, I thought it was a bad play call. And then the jump into the end zone right there. I mean, that will go down in history. That will be able to that play will be played for decades to come. And it's just a great thing for him and his family. With the story with his mom who has MS and his dad who always sits at the game next to her. If you ever see pictures of Fernando Mendoza's dad at a football game, he's always sitting down to kind of uh, be there for his wife who can't stand up without a wheelchair right now.
Yeah, man. What a story, JB. What a story. See, JB, that's the reaction I was looking from you earlier. I wanted you to dig into your heart and just kind of bless this man with some good energy. And you chose violence, JB. JB's initial reaction to the video was, well, is that really a first round quarterback? Is he should the Raiders think about maybe pushing back, trading back, loading up on picks? JB, I respect that. I respect the energy. I love it, JB.
Hey, I
But
gotta
Tim,
make it.
tell us more about this. Tell us more about this game from the other side of Miami Hurricanes. If you're the Hurricanes, what were your takeaways from losing out on this national championship?
The biggest takeaway from Miami is they're not going away anytime soon. Mark Fletcher Jr. is already committed to come back this next season for the Hurricanes. Their huge offensive weapon, Malachi Tony, very young. This man should have been in high school this year. That's what a lot of people forget to notice. I mean, this man had 10 receptions, a touchdown, over 100 yards receiving in the national championship as an 18-year-old kid who is still supposed to be in high school at this point. The future is very bright for Miami. They're going to need to find a quarterback to replace Carson Beck, and hopefully that they have that there already, and they'll be able to keep moving forward because this team it isn't going to be going anywhere anytime soon.
They did a last minute. They just got some quarterback right from like Memphis, I think, or something. It was a last minute thing, right before the portal closed because the portal's officially closed, if I'm correct, right?
It is, yep. And they had one of the it's a very controversial thing that happened. They got Darian Mensah from Duke, which a lot of people are kind of up in arms. It is a in conference team that they stole a quarterback from who had already signed to go back with Duke. The price tag and what they're giving him is absolutely insane. I mean, I want to say they're even giving his sister a full ride. She plays soccer, I believe. They're giving him like multiple $1 million. They're paying for the buyout. They're paying Duke to be able to buy him out of his contract there. And he entered the portal on the last day of the portal, and then ultimately that's when that's when Miami picked him up, and it's really going to help them. I truly believe that with that, it's going to put them over that edge, and we could ultimately see them in this game again next year.
Yeah, the college football. That's college football for you right now, JB. Just dudes doing whatever they want, however old you want to be. It feels like we could go back into college if we had the athletic ability to make it. It seems like us old men could find our way through. I don't know, JB. Maybe a 35-year-old kicker. Should we bring out the old boot and go try out for one? Maybe get a little JUCO
You
scholarship, something
never
crazy.
know.
Maybe the oldest guy to ever come back and kick field goals for Nemi. Why not? I become a Bronco. I'm just
Might as
playing.
well.
Like, man, these boys are athletic.
Yeah,
Hey
that's
Tim, any news coming out from Fletcher, uh, Mark Fletcher Jr. Threw a strike here after the game in the post game. Is there any
See it.
news on what the
Perhaps you
disciplinary
would help
should
have
be
seen
for
it
this?
afterwards. That's Mark Fletcher.
You know, I haven't seen anything come of it yet. I believe there probably will be. They could possibly end up suspending him for some games next year. That could be a possibility. You're not really seeing in the NCAA fines with like dollar amounts necessarily yet. But when you see something like that happen, I mean, the referees let a lot of plays let the players play a lot last night, which is very great. But ultimately, whenever you do have stuff like that happen and tensions back and forth, and ultimately that can happen. The time I can look back at it is like Eric Blunt whenever he played Boise State back in like 2009, 2010, and he threw that punch and actually ultimately ended up missing the rest of his senior season because of it. So I do believe the NCAA is going to come down pretty harsh on him. You can't just throw punches like that, especially after a game, after you lose a football game. You had 60 minutes of game time before that to be able to do what you needed to do, and weren't able to get it done. So it's unfortunate when stuff like that happens. It is a violent game, it is an emotional game, so emotions are always pouring over. But you really got to be able to bring it in there.
Yeah, for sure. JB, did you see that?
No, I didn't. That's my first time seeing that clip. I did not know that happened. Yeah,
Well, I mean, that's got to hurt. That's got to hurt prospects, right?
that's
That's got to hurt
probably going to be
the scouts
yeah.
looking in.
It's got to be a suspension for sure. Yeah, but I don't think because he is coming back next year. I think that it's another year of maturity, all that stuff before you go into the draft and all that. So I don't think it'll be too much of a big deal. But yeah, things happen. So yeah, that was my first time seeing that clip though.
Forgive and forget. That's what you're saying. And you know what sucks is that this kind of stuff will come up whenever contract negotiations come up, where it's going to be like, you're a bit of a hothead. We're taking a risk on you. We're the ones that have more to lose if you're not able to control. Like that, it feels like that's the kind of stuff that will come into play whenever negotiations start. And obviously, we're not going to hear about it next year. But the following draft, when it starts to come up and it starts to crunch down on whether or not he's going to be a top 10 pick, and then when they start destroying all these picks, then we start hearing the news. And then whenever a team wants them to fall from like 5 or 8 to 10 or 12, that's when all the dirty stories come out and they make these players look bad. So that way they could fall perfectly on their lap and then they can make the pick there, like in the 12th or 15th. And then you get a steal. All of a sudden you get a steal and you get this guy who's a little hinged, a little off the rails. And then next thing you know, you got a dog. But that dude had a hell of a game yesterday as well. That was just some good old football, huh, Tim?
Oh
From
yeah,
start
I
to
mean,
finish.
from the opening kickoff, I mean, it was a great football game. You kind of saw Indiana jump up 10-0, and you're kind of like, oh, here we go again. I did the same thing. I had people calling me, telling me, oh, Indiana's going to run away with this. But when you're really watching the game, you had to tell that like it was going to be a lot closer than when it seemed. Indiana wasn't going to be able to just walk all over them like they did the entire college football playoff. And then there's also news coming out of Indiana as well too that Alberto Mendoza, so Fernando's little brother, was actually the backup quarterback at Indiana, and they're talking about him possibly leaving. He's not going to be the guy coming up. Indiana signed the quarterback out of Cincinnati, pretty big price tag. He's going to be their QB1 coming up this next season. And Alberto Mendoza, he got a lot of snaps during the season, as you can tell. I mean, they were just kind of steamrolling teams. So he put some tape together, and he thinks that he has enough to be able to go in the portal and go do that for somebody else.
What year is his brother in? Do you know?
I want to say he's a sophomore. He's either a redshirt freshman or a sophomore.
Oh, so he's got plenty of time. Before
Yeah,
we
yeah,
know it, he'll be back in Indiana too.
yeah, he's a redshirt freshman.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up becoming a Hoosier again. Like it's like, hey man, we're trying to win right now. We're not in the developing stage. We just need a solid quarterback to get us over the hump because this is a defensive team. Ultimately, these guys, this engine runs, or for me, that's outside looking in. It feels like Indiana runs through their defense, and they kind of just expect Fernando Mendoza to be a great game manager, which is what he's been, and then he just kind of digs out 4 or 5 great plays, and then they win a national championship. That's what it seems like was got the recipe that's gotten Indiana to a national championship. So I won't be surprised if the little brother just kind of go get some reps at some other school, and then whenever he's ready, Indiana's gonna be like, "Come on over, boy. I got $5 million sitting right here on this desk. You come back and win us a national championship, just like your brother." Then they hit him with the soft story. You could do. You remember that story your brother wrote? Well, you could write 2.0. You and your family can go through the same ride here as a Hoosier. That'd be fun, man. Shout out to that family. Shout out to their mom. Every time I watch Fernando talk about his mom, it does kind of make you just get a little tug. Makes you want to text your mom, tell her I love her. And my mom's watching, so shout out to my mom. Love you. But what a moment. The right guy, the right team won. It felt like for storytelling, the right team won. Wouldn't you agree with me, Tim?
Absolutely. I mean, people are going to be talking about this team and what this team did this year for decades to come. I mean, Kurt Signetti is going to be the next Nick Saban in college football. I mean, just like what he says, Google him. I mean, nobody has done what he's been able to do in this little amount of time to be able to turn a team who in 2021 was 2-10 and couldn't even spell the word Indiana to put on the front of their jersey correctly. Whenever they do that, to come to 2026 to be able to win a national football championship, being the most losing team in college football history, for Cincinnati to turn that around and only have 2 losses in 2 seasons, it speaks volumes for the character of the kids that he brings in, as well as the coaching staff that kind of builds everything up there in that stadium.
Yeah, and the Indiana Hoosiers brought in a new president back in 21, I believe, is from what I heard on the Pat McAfee show yesterday. And she and the AD there had kind of put this whole plan into process, and they're being able to see their fruits of their labor kind of play out in front of their eyes. And now they have a national championship. And from what I heard in her interview yesterday is that this isn't stopping. This isn't going nowhere. If you've seen all the moves they've already made in the transfer portal, they're just stacking talent on top of talent. So this Indiana Hoosiers team is not going nowhere. There's a lot of money behind this team. I know we look at like Texas Tech and the oil and stuff. There's a lot of business folks at this Indiana school. Someone of the name of like Mark Cuban. I don't know, a guy that owned the Dallas Mavericks. We know how much money it costs to run a team there. So just imagine that kind of money funneling in to this Indiana organization. I mean, if he's not spending money in Dallas, why not spend it over here? Why not spend it over here? And that's what it seems like it's happening. From my understanding is they got one of the top medical schools in the world, and then they just started engineering program that's already top 10 in the country or something like that. And then the business schools there, I guess, are top 5 or something like that. Like this bunch of smart kids, bunch of smart dudes that are going like, hey, we got a ton of money to mess around with. Let's have a little bit of fun. Instead of gambling, instead of going to the casino, how about I just gamble on my school and enjoy and just watch my money kind of play out. There's nothing better than spending money and having a good time. Because whenever you spend money and don't have a good time, you look back and go like, damn, what did I spend it on? But if you got memories locked with it, what a time, JV. What a time to be alive. College football is on. I don't understand it, but it was fun yesterday. They delivered some good football, so shout out to the college football world. And then sometimes when you talk a little bit of ish, you got to be able to dish it, but you also got to be able to receive it. And the Indiana fans are having a little bit of fun with the BTA that Michael Irvin set up this year. This is one of the parents of the football team having a little bit of.
I've been waiting a long time. I've been waiting a long time. We're going to put it up there.
That's the difference between being just lit up on snow and then just having a good time on a little bit of booze. Because if you remember Michael Irvin's videos, that boy's going ham. But man, it's got to feel good to win. Bro is just having a good time. Like this is being an Indiana Hoosiers fan right now. It's polite. Like he's not really even spanking that t-shirt. He's just kind of just having fun with it. Ha ha. Good stuff. Good stuff. Shout out to the college football world. Tim, anything else you'd like to tell us before we let you go?
No, it was just a great ending to an amazing season, and I was very happy to be able to spend it with you guys.
Hell yeah! What did your college football championship night look like?
So mine was cleaning up the house. My fiance had to work late yesterday, so I was doing dishes and laundry while watching it on my laptop, and then was able to, whenever I put my son to sleep, was able to move it over to the big TV and then cook some dinner. So had a lot going on in the house, but thankfully with modern technology, I'm able to still watch it in any room I go in. So it was phenomenal, man. I mean, it was a great football game. You love to see endings of the seasons like that, as opposed to a few years ago, like the TCU game where it was just a massive blowout, the national championship. I think anybody would rather see the game that we saw last night as opposed to that game a few years ago.
Yeah, for sure. And that would be called adulting. That would be fatherhood. And that would be a great husband. So shout out to you, Tim. I appreciate everything that you've been able to put into our brains and educate us, not only us but our viewers. We thank you. You've been the best addition to our show this year, and shout out to you and the college football world. And as we go on, the college football world news does not stop. Tim is our insider there with the UNM Lobos. So as we follow them throughout the offseason, Tim will be here to update us. Also, there's another gentleman that will be following along, Mr. Diego Pavia, who put his name into the hat. We'll be following his story, and Tim will be updating us with that weekly. So, ladies and gentlemen, SOL Insider, Mr. Tim Foley. Yeah. Good stuff, man. That was a great ending to the college football world, at least for the
Good
season.
game.
Now we go into the off season. And now we really get into the weeds of what college football is and what is going to become. Is it going to look like the NFL? Is it going to look like is it going to be more signings, more posts where we see cool little signings? This person signed with this person. This person's making this much money. It's now we're like their pockets are open to the world to see. That's going to be interesting how it plays out. Like you said, well, average 23-year-old roster. We're probably going to see that again next year, JB. The old heads are taking over, and you just hope that these young guys develop. But whenever we see a talent like we did from Miami yesterday, that kid Tony that he was talking about, man, that's dope. That's a little high school kid. Supposed to be in high school.
18 years old. He might have been one of the youngest dudes out there. Yeah, 10 catches, had a solid game, and explosive, shifty, fast receiver. So he's got a bright future too. So depends, what he's
You
got.
look like the best player out there too. That's what's wild.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'm excited to see some of those guys in the draft. That Ruben Bain, I mean, he's going to be a game changer. And I forget the other dude's name coming off the opposite edge. If anybody knows it, but just solid pass rush, man. We saw what that does, the type of duress. And you kind of saw Fernando Mendoza get a little bit antsy in the bucket too throughout the game just because of that pass rush, man. So Ruben Bain, first, I mean, he might go top 10, top 15 maybe, but I think with his skill
Man, just
set,
looks so big.
just a freaking huge dude. He's huge, explosive, gets off the edge quick, has good bend. That's what everybody likes to see, the bend part, how they get to the quarterback, going around the tackle. So he can do it all, man. He's going to be a solid player in the NFL. So,
Well, JB, let's recap a couple things that we talked about throughout the show. So to kick off the show, obviously, we talked a little college football. We talked about you reacted to the Titans and hiring Robert Saleh. Your take on that was interesting. So if you didn't see, rewind it back, listen to that. The best take you had was the Miami Dolphins take on
that
Jeff
whole
Hadley
clip.
being hired. I like that one. Let's if you guys didn't watch that, rewind that one back. That was a solid take there. I like that. That was around the 15th minute of the show. You got me excited of being a Miami Dolphins fan. I'm not a Miami Dolphins fan, but if I were to put the Miami Dolphins hat on after listening to what you said, oh, we got a dog back there. The way we're going to change our mentality from being some soft finesse team, we're going to put on our dog hat, our blue collar hat, and get ready to work. That's what JB had told us there. There's other news to report as well, JB. Eric Bieniemy looks like he's going back to Kansas City to be the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Wow.
Less for the Kansas City Chiefs. What tells me there is that they're admitting to a mistake that they did by even ever letting him leave the locker room. So shout out to them accepting that. The most important news that came out yesterday, JB, there's two, and tomorrow we'll talk more on the Broncos and Stidham being the guy to lead this team out in the most important game of their life this weekend for the Denver Broncos. But just in Seahawks yesterday, running back Zach Charbonnet suffered a significant knee injury on Saturday versus the 49ers and is going to need season-ending injury. That was said by Mike McDonald, from Seattle Seahawks head coach. I mean, seeing this yesterday, this immediately, I was like, damn, this hurts, right? Obviously, it's going to hurt. But my thought process now is like, this is the benefits. Now they'll be able to reap the benefits of having a duo like they do have with him and Kenneth Walker in Seattle. Now Kenneth Walker's just going to have to kind of take over the load, but that's not a bad deal to me, right? Like if we look at like the Detroit Lions and you were to say David Montgomery and Jamar Gibbs, and Montgomery were to go down and it was just Jamar Gibbs, you would just be like, okay, Jamar Gibbs about to get 25, 30 touches. I don't mind that. I don't mind Kenneth Walker having to get 25 to 30 touches because he's hurt his body for this moment because he hasn't had to take as many hits as someone that's a full-time back, right?
Yeah, no, and it's Jameer Gibbs, by the
Oh,
way.
yeah, I got cooked.
Can't
I
get
got
roasted
cooked.
about that again.
My fault.
But this is
Jameer
Kenneth
Gibbs.
Walker. As soon as Charbonnet went out, he stepped up. Kenneth Walker had a huge game. I mean, it just every time I would freaking turn back towards the TV, Kenneth Walker was running a toss to the right side, getting in scot free. So I think and they're also going to have some other dude Jones or something in the backfield. So he's going to have a little bit of help, but the load's going to go on Walker. Walker's going to have to hopefully stay healthy and really show off his skills because he's explosive, got good vision. He's kind of a do-it-all back. So he's going to have to take over and keep this run game going. If they want this Sam Darnold, to throw under 20, 25 times a game, that's what they're going to have to do. And I think Sam Darnold's going to have to throw. I think this game could kind of turn into a little bit of a shootout, high 20s game. But I think they're going to be both kind of conservative in a sense, not conservative, but I think they're gonna approach the first quarter and they're gonna get a real good feel for each other, like what the game plan is, what both teams are trying to do, and then you're gonna see a lot of adjustments on the fly from both of these teams. I think it's gonna be when you're playing a third team, I mean a team for the third time in the NFC Championship, I think you go into it a little bit differently, but I think you want to get a good feel at first for what each team is trying to do, trying to prevent you from doing, trying to take away, trying to allow. So you got to see. I think if I'm the Rams, I want Sam Darnold to be throwing over 30 times a game. And if I'm the Seahawks, I want to control that where I don't have to necessarily make high risk throws, have Darnold back in the pocket, all those 30 over 30 times. But if it turns into a shootout, we see that Stafford can handle a shootout. Sam Darnold, it's a different story, and so there's a lot of variables into that game. I feel like it's going to make that game. This might be the game of the year. I don't know, going into the Super Bowl because I feel like for me at least, I feel like it's going to be the Patriots going out of the AFC. I just don't see a backup coming in with that Stidham status and just really doing anything. I mean, they're hyping it up. Sean Payton's, oh yeah, Jared Stidham could be a starter for a handful of teams in the league. Whatever, dude. Like you got to give your guys hope. You got to give your guys hope. Ultimately, I don't know.
Yeah, the way they've handled that whole situation, it's been interesting. But it's definitely if I was on that end, I mean the Denver Broncos fans that I have seen on X and on Instagram, it seems like they're locked in, they're bought into whatever coach is saying.
You're only one game. You're one game away from the big dance. So you might as well believe. I would be believing too. I mean, we almost did it. The two teams that do it, Nick Foles against with the Eagles, and who did he beat? The Patriots. So maybe. And Nick Foles even tweeted.
Did you see that tweet? Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah, Nick Foles tweeted about it. So that's always something. A little bit of a troll job, just making light of it. But I don't know.
What did he say? He said on the bright side,
on the
New
bright
England
side,
is known to lose to backup quarterbacks. So that what a jab. That's the ultimate tweet. What a great tweet. That's good Twitter right there. Or good X right there. What a good I hit the follow just because of that beautiful tweet by Nick Foles. But that is true though. You know what's beautiful about the sport right now is like we always say that it's almost impossible for a Cinderella story to happen. That was kind of the talk of the college football playoff world, right? It's like we're not looking for a Cinderella. We just want to see the best teams play the best teams. But the beauty of this is that you only need 2 games. You only need to go on a run for 2 games. You only need like a good handful of great passes that can win you a Super Bowl, can win you the ultimate prize. So if Jared Stidham does it, that'd be gnarly. That'd be crazy. For Broncos fans, good luck to them, man. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But JB, let's go ahead and close the show as you freeze on the screen here. Good luck to the Raiders as they watched their quarterback yesterday. I believe this is probably what's going to happen. Fernando Mendoza will be the Las Vegas Raiders' #1 pick. This is what the future look like. So get excited, be hyped, get juiced if you're a Raiders fan. This is good for you. Your boy just won a national championship. He's going to be riding all the highs of highs, and he's going to come over and change your organization. At least, hopefully. At least that's how we're going to think of it. We're going to be optimistic about it. So kudos to you, JB. Hell of a show today. Shout out to Tim. Thank you, Tim. Well, bringing in great insight, breaking down that college football game, and that was fun. Tomorrow we will talk a little more Denver Broncos, and we'll kind of go over this Rams Seahawks game, get into the weeds, find out the small details, find out the small stats, find out who the refereeing crew is, and what we are going to need to look for. I appreciate you guys rocking with us. Give us maybe a little like, maybe a little subscribe, maybe shoot a little share, so that way you could tell a friend to tell a friend. But we appreciate you guys so much for allowing us to just do our hobby out loud, as we should be, right? JB, we also have a phone where they can also speak to us. It's 575-808-9307. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their lives. Shout out PMS. See ya.